Hey everyone, I'm Asia Dang. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Today is going to be a really fun video. It is about what I spent on my dogs this month, or should I say last month. I thought this was a really cute twist on one, my budget videos, and also two, my what I spent this week videos. I get a lot of questions about how much it costs to have a dog, and it's a lot. And this month I actually spent a lot of money on my dogs because it was a month that they had a lot of things going on. So I thought it would be the perfect time to document how much I spend on my dogs. And granted, this is kind of like the max I spend on them if unless there was like an emergency. But I wanted to show y'all everything it costs to take care of a dog, just so you can prepare yourself if this is a road you want to go on. I love my dogs. They made me a better person. I do not know what my life would be like without them. But I was completely unprepared. I was financially unprepared for it. And I just want you all to go into it a little bit more knowledgeable than I did. That being said, please remember to adopt, don't shop. Please, 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 please. Both of my dogs are adopted, and adopted dogs are the best. Anyways, like, share, and subscribe, and let's just get right on into it. So the month started out not having to spend any money, but we had a pooping situation. And I don't mean myself, but I mean the dogs. Luke had diarrhea and it lasted almost a week, starting on the 1st. So starting the very first day that I wanted to document this experience, we had a diarrhea situation. But that goes into the 3rd because the week after, he and Levi were gonna have their teeth cleaned. So I didn't want them to go into anesthesia, not 100% healthy. So because the diarrhea didn't get any better over the couple days, I actually booked an appointment for Luke to see the vet. It's been a journey trying to find a vet, but a good vet is obviously something that is so important. So I wanted to try this new vet. I have been following them for a really long time, since before they opened, because this vet, which is called Modern Animal, is actually right next to Healthy Spot on Beverly by the Grove. So I drove past them. I go to that Healthy Spot all the time when I'm running errands. So I've been aware of them for a long time. So I figured, now's the time to test them out. And I have to tell you, I love them. I love Modern Animal. We've only been with them for a month, but we've seen them twice, and I love them. So basically what Modern Animal is, I think they're only LA based. They have a yearly subscription, $100, and you get free visits. And that is really important because normally a vet visit will cost anywhere between like $50 and $80 just for a visit. But theirs is free if you for the $100 for a year. And they have this app where everything is directly on this app. So you have your appointments, you have your health records, your care summaries. Every time they visit, they update these summaries, prescriptions, invoices, estimates. Anytime I have a question, they have a messaging section and they answer me within 5 minutes. I think we found our vet in LA. I'm really, really happy with them. But what happened was they did a check with Luke. They found that, his insides were still a little not feeling well because of whatever he ate. But other than that, he was fine. Okay, so this is what we have. We have Propectolin for Luke's watery poo-poo. All of Luke's problems. We've never had one of these before. Oh, it's kind of blurry. But it smells like actually really good food. So twice a day until it's gone. So for 5 days. And then I also got some probiotics to put in his food just to make sure his GI tract is feeling okay. So all in all, Lukey, this was probably one of the more affordable emergency vet visits. Thank you, my baby. I mentioned this in my last budget video, but North Figueroa Animal Hospital is also another great place that I love to take my dogs. They're very affordable. Anytime I find a stray dog or I foster and have to go to the vet, that's where I take them. They're really affordable. However, they don't take appointments, and because of COVID, they're only taking 50 dogs or 50 patients, animals a day. And because of that, when you walk in, the wait is going to be about 6 hours. So for me, taking Luke there is no longer cost effective for my time, which is why we just went to Modern Animal. But again, I just love Modern Animal. I think they're great. I would highly recommend them. I'll link them in the description box. But North Figueroa Animal Hospital is another vet place that I would recommend, and I take all of my stray dogs there. You know, then everything is fine. Luke's stomach gets better because of the meds we gave him. And then I got antsy looking at my dogs because they are starting to look homeless. My dogs are poodle mixes, and the great thing about poodles is that they have like hair versus fur, so that's why they're hypoallergenic. That's why they look nice and fluffy. But my dogs, if they start to look homeless pretty quickly because their hair grows really quickly, and we don't get our dogs professionally groomed every month because that is very expensive, so we get them groomed every couple weeks or every couple months. But sometimes I just want to take the scissors and do a little to Levi. I can't do it to Luke because Luke actually, he moves around too much, so I'd rather leave that up to the professionals. But every once in a while, I'll take the, scissors or the razor to Levi, and that's what I decided to do on March 7th. And after that, I decided just to bathe both my dogs. We bathe our dogs once a week. Their hair can get really oily. We live downtown, so it's really dirty when we go for walks. So once a week is when we bathe our dogs. That's what we did on March 7th. March 9th is where we took the boys to the dentist. So dog teeth cleaning is really important. I know people that will do non-anesthetic. I would rather put them under anesthesia to make sure that the vets can see any problems that they may have in their mouth, so they can get a really deep clean, not only to get the plaque removed from their teeth, but also can go a little bit under the gums to make sure there's like no infection or they're all healthy and all that stuff. And two, I don't want to traumatize my dogs. I know Levi would probably be okay not getting his teeth cleaned without anesthesia, but I know Luke would be traumatized because he doesn't like people touching his mouth. So I just do that once a year. It's not surgery, but it's like a major medical procedure. So again, I do it every year because I prefer to, and also my dogs are still fairly young and fairly healthy. But March 9th is when we did that, and it was something that I saved up money for. I'm always prepared financially for things that I plan for ahead. And that is also the good thing about Modern Animal, is that I told them I wanted to schedule a dental, and they gave me an estimated invoice so I could financially prepare for it ahead. And for 2 dogs, let's see. So for both dogs, for the dental package, which includes the dental examination and charting, radiology, anesthesia, monitoring, catheters, all of that stuff. For 2 dogs, the total was $1,301.94. So that was $650.97 for 1 dog. Again, very expensive. Again, something I saved for and something that I think is necessary for my dogs. And fortunately, everything was fine. They got their teeth, plaque removed from their teeth. Everything was healthy. The procedure went well, and they woke up a little groggy, but healthy. And then because my vet is next to Healthy Spot, which is where I get the dog food and dog treats and all that stuff, I walked on over and bought some dog food for my dogs. We like to feed our dogs small batch. It's something that they've eaten since they were puppies, so for years. They come in different flavors. Right now we're feeding them beef, and what I do is, you know, I make my own like chicken dog treats, so I'll just like kind of sprinkle that on top of their their small batch, and they'll eat that. But yeah. Now, 3 days later, on March 12th, we got our Doggy-Lon. And we've had Doggy-Lon for a really, really long time. And this might sound really bougie, but Doggy-Lon is fresh grass that is mailed to us every 2 weeks. And that costs us $31.74 every 2 weeks. And when they were puppies, it was a really great way to potty train them. But we keep the Doggy-Lon grass, we keep getting it sent to us because, again, we live downtown and we don't walk our dogs at night. Once the sun goes down, we don't walk them. So we have the Doggy-Lon in the house for them. Whenever they need to relieve themselves, they do it on the fresh grass. They know exactly where it is, and it's just really easy for us. I would recommend Doggy-Lon for any like apartment dweller, any urban living person. I think it's really, really the best. And then when you're ready, you can just toss it out in the trash. You can recycle the box. So 100% recommend. On March 16th, I got my nationwide pet insurance refund back. There was a DM saying that they had a pet insurance that they don't have to pay up front. I don't remember what pet insurance she mentioned, but that's the thing about Nationwide, is that you have to pay up front. You keep the receipt, you send them the receipt to Nationwide, and then they will refund you. So it takes a little planning ahead, and in case of an emergency, that might seem really scary, but you know, I have an emergency fund for my dog that started the whole, you know, getting my life financially together journey, is because I couldn't afford surgery for Luke, emergency surgery for Luke. So that's why I have $5,000 put aside for my dog. So if there was ever an emergency, I have that money set aside. But for things I can prepare for, like dental, saving up money ahead of time to pay for it first and then getting a refund later isn't that big of a deal to me. But I got my refund. I got $558.87 for both dogs. So with my refund, that means I only paid about $130 for both dog teeth cleaning, which is incredible. And then the day after that, we went to Healthy Spot because the dogs got their haircuts. Again, they get very straggly very fast. We don't take them to get their hair professionally cut every month because it is very expensive. For one dog, our dogs are petite, it cost $85 at Healthy Spot, and I'm sure there's other places that we can go, but I honestly just trust Healthy Spots. So with that, I got Luke, I asked them to file Luke's nails for $12 plus 20% tip. Their Healthy Spot spa day costs $216. So that again is something that I can add into my budget a couple months and be prepared for it when I want to get them groomed. You know, a lot of people ask me how Brian and I split up the expenses, and for the dog specifically, I normally take over the expenses just because I am normally the one that takes them to their appointments. I'm usually the one that knows when they need to re-up on their food. So it's just easier for me to be able to pay for things as I know I need them, as I know we need them, versus like me telling Brian to do it. It's just easier for us and easier for me. And again, because I'm able to save up for things in the future, it's just, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Brian will normally pay for, you know, takeout or dining out and stuff, whereas I will take care of the dog. So that's kind of the balance. We normally don't talk about who owes what when. It's just we pay for it with the flow. It's kind of like we just go with the flow when it comes to expenses, and that works best for us. So the last thing that happened for the month for the dogs was their doggy daycare on the 25th. Every month on the 25th, that is when their doggy daycare expense is automatically taken out of my sinking fund expenses. So you all know I hate a monthly expense. If I can pay for something in full, I will. That's what I do for car insurance. That's what I do for health insurance. That's what I do for basically everything on this list. But there's some things that I can't, pet insurance as well, but there's some things I can't pay for in full, like the boys' daycare. And this is actually, we're coming up on maybe a year of them being in daycare. And before I didn't really think it was a necessary expense, but now that I have, you know, some income, I'm able to afford it. It's $225 a month for 2 dogs. And the place we take the dogs to is kind of like a subscription-based model as well. So $225 a month equals 30 hours of playtime at Doggie Daycare, and that is split between the 2 dogs. So, you know, I love my dogs, but sometimes I just need them to go. I need quiet, which is why there's no barking, which is why there's no one playing video games, because Brian is gone. The boys are in daycare today as we speak. And, you know, sometimes mama just needs me time. So if we have a busy day, if we're going to be out of the house for a long time, or if I just need quiet, I'll throw them into their doggy daycare so they can socialize and get all their energy out for the day. But I'm not able to pay for their doggy daycare in one lump sum, which I totally understand. However, I still save for the year in my sinking fund goal, and I just put it in my Empower account where all of my sinking fund bills are. So instead of that expense being taken out of my personal account, it's taken out of my Empower account, and that hurts less. So that is everything that I spent on my dogs this month. Again, this was a very unique month because of the dental and because of the professional grooming, but take those like outliers out, and that's pretty much what we spend on the dogs every month. And that is it. I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable. And yes, I do have to say, I know it might seem like a lot having 2 dogs, but it's really not that much of a difference than having 1. It's different in the sense that it's a little bit more expensive, but work-wise, it's exactly the same. So if you have a dog and you're thinking of getting another one, like a friend for your current pet, I would say 100% do it. It might seem scary, but honestly, it's really not that bad. And if you are interested in getting a dog, I would highly recommend fostering. Fostering is a great way to not only figure out what kind of dog you want, like the temperament, the energy, like do you want a dog that just sleeps all day? Do you want a dog that goes on a run for you? Fostering is a really great way to meet a lot of dogs, help the dogs get out of the system, and potentially find them their new home. If you don't adopt them, then you can foster them until someone else adopts them. When you foster a dog, you are literally saving a life, because California and Texas euthanize hundreds of thousands of animals every year. So you being able to foster a dog, whether it's directly through a shelter or through a rescue, will help significantly with the euthanization of animals and the overpopulation of animals in our shelter system. And I know everyone loves a puppy, but to be honest, puppies are a lot of work. And even though I adopted my dogs as puppies, I have learned my lesson, and I will never do that ever again. I would actually really love to adopt a larger dog like a pit bull. And when I do that, it will be an older dog. I don't want to deal with the puppies anymore. They are too much work. You don't get any sleep. You have to potty train them and all that stuff. Older dogs are better, and they're better because you can also already tell what their temperament is. If you're in LA and are interested in adopting, I'll go ahead and link some of the shelters and rescues that I personally like, and I have fostered and worked with and donated to a lot of the rescues that I'll go ahead and put in the description box. So check them out, follow them on IG. They're always updating with new dogs that they get in, and cats and rabbits and chickens, always updating on their Instagram. So I would recommend you following a shelter and rescue on IG, because that's probably one of the fastest ways to know when they get in new animals, which in all honesty is basically every day. I'm Asia Dang. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.